Hey everybody, it's Danny Badjev here, founder of the Porn Academy. So if you're watching this video right now, I'm assuming you're one of the tens of millions of people who are currently struggling to take back control over their lives and their behavior when it comes to porn. That's right, according to studies done at FHE Health, roughly 11% of people in the United States watch porn on a daily basis. That's 38 million people, and it's only in the US, and it's only those who are actually honest about it. I never participated to those studies, yet I started watching porn at 9 years old, and I only started the healing journey at 18. That's almost 10 years of addiction. At the peak of it, I was jerking off to porn on average 5 times per day. It almost feels like I'm talking about a past life now or a different person, but it's true. I've cheated on girlfriends online, I've jerked off in public hidden places like bathrooms, and I've even bleeded a few times. Today, I can proudly say I've managed to stay off porn for periods of more than a year in a row, to abstain from masturbation for months in a row, and even to go all in on semen retention for weeks in a row. And it's crazy to say, I never thought I would ever say this, but it almost feels easy now. I also got to build my audience from 1,000 to more than 70,000 followers across platforms. I made my first $15,000 online. I also overcame my crippling insecurity and my social anxiety to become an actor, model, public speaker, creative entrepreneur, content creator, teaching men how to overcome porn addiction and build unshakable confidence. And all of this while traveling the world as a digital nomad. So when I say I've seen both sides of the game, I mean it. I even get emotional sometimes looking back at all the progress I've made. And I believe everybody deserves to have that feeling of progress, gratitude, and confidence. This is why I do what I do. One thing I know for sure is that there's a reason why you're here right now. Your hunger for healing and freedom is what sets people like you and I apart from those who apparently are ready to settle for average. I'm here to serve those who know there's something more to life, that just won't settle for anything less than what they can do and be and contribute. So if you're still watching this, it means you're actually serious about your journey. So the first thing I want you to know is that there's actually a very predictable reason why you can't stop indulging in porn. We tend to fall in the trap of believing that each one of us is very unique, different, and special as human beings. But the truth is, we're all very predictable. Most of what we do isn't even our conscious choice. It's just patterns. It's the way our brains have been conditioned through human evolution. One thing I've learned over the years is that the greatest way to hack the system or escape the matrix isn't by trying to fight it. By trying to outsmart it, you only end up setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. Instead, the way you win is by actually aligning yourself with the undeniable laws of the universe until you're wise enough to use them to your advantage. Align first, innovate after. If you actually look at any great master in history, this is what they've done. So unless you don't give a fuck about progress, let's get to work, shall we? Here are the 4 reasons why you feel like you don't have control over yourself when it comes to porn. The reason it feels stronger than you is because the value equation. If you've never heard of it, it's a concept that was initially created by Alex Hormozi, the co-owner of the platform we're on right now, School, and it's used to explain what makes anything be perceived as valuable. It's a fundamental principle of psychology, and it works for all of us. So number 1, dream outcome. Except for hard drugs, is there anything more pleasurable than an orgasm? Right, so dream outcome, very high. Number 2, perceived likelihood of achievement. How likely are you to achieve an orgasm watching porn? Exactly. So likelihood of achievement, very high. Number 3, time delay. How fast can you reach an orgasm jerking off to porn? We all know the answer to that. So time delay, very low. And number 4, effort and sacrifice. You can achieve the highest levels of pleasure nature has given to you with the click of a button as long as you have these 2 things, an electronic device and access to the internet, which is 99% of people in the Western world. You can do it anywhere you want to, whenever you want to, as long as you wish. So effort and sacrifice, very low. When you look at those points, how valuable is porn? Very valuable. So now that we know this, we can't just expect to eliminate a valuable habit without replacing it with something better first. That's not how the universe works. The only way we can free ourselves from the porn matrix is by actually aligning ourselves with the law of value first. So here's what we're going to do. Number 1, dream outcome. We're going to give your mind what it has always desired most in this entire world: progress in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. The quality of our lives is perceived through the filter of progress. It is the experiences in the contrast between point A and point B that shape our level of fulfillment in life. Whether you're conscious of it or not, every time you experience a pleasurable feeling, it's because progress has been detected in your consciousness. Even the most spiritual people out there can only enjoy their enlightenment because it's a contrast with their previous states of suffering. Positive contrast equals progress equals pleasure. And negative contrast equals regress equals pain. No matter what your goals are, what you're fundamentally looking for is progress. All right, so number 2, perceived likelihood of achievement. In order to achieve that progress, we're going to use an incredibly powerful formula backed up by modern science and by centuries of ancient wisdoms from the greatest masters in history. So perceived likelihood of achievement, very high. Number 3, time delay. That formula we're going to use is renowned for providing results in days. Not years, not months, not weeks, days. So time delay, very low. And number 4, effort and sacrifice. That progress will be achieved without needing to practice nofap, wrestle with urges for months in a row, use porn blockers, or even needing to cut all porn out of your life. Instead of trying to fight the symptom, we're going to eliminate the root cause, which will allow freedom to happen naturally. So effort and sacrifice, very low. That's what we call value. This formula I'm about to teach you will make your life so blissful, it will shrink the pleasure of porn into irrelevance. The freedom, the peace of mind, the discipline you've always dreamed of will finally be yours. And this, my friend, is an undefeated feeling. I can say that with certainty, not only because I have experienced it myself, but because I've seen the transformation in all the people I've helped. See, the fundamental problem with most gurus out there is that they teach you what they do today. It's like I can easily give you all the habits and routines I use now that I've been off porn for years, but that's not what I did to get there. I believe that we shouldn't study successful people. We should study what successful people did to become successful. We all start from zero, and you guys are all at different points in your journey. That's why I've made sure to create a formula that can serve every single one of you, from total beginner to someone who just wants to reach the next level. And don't get me wrong, you could figure it out all by yourself using the classic trial and error method. It's free after all, right? But let's be honest and admit that you could save a whole lot of time, avoid some useless suffering, and even protect yourself from losing a lot of money in the future. And if you're wondering why I'm saying that, what I'm about to share with you might make a lot of y'all uncomfortable. But again, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. Again, according to FHE Health, $3,000 are being spent on internet porn at every second of every day, 24/7. And I don't want to scare you, but when I first looked at the statistic, I couldn't help myself but wonder if you had asked all of these people before they started spending that money, if they ever thought they would be in that position, what do you think they would have said? Do you think they're fully conscious and proud of themselves when they do it? What really makes the difference between someone who keeps on relapsing and losing control all the time and someone who just adds a few digits on a payment processor while doing so? Not that much. No one is fully safe from falling in that trap, especially with the rise of OnlyFans models, AI, and sex robots. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I am genuinely concerned about the impact that this whole revolution will have on people who are already addicted. It's like, it can only get worse. So that's one more reason why I do what I do. But anyways, with that being said, if you're down to progress faster with less pain despite the small cost, let me show you how we regularly turn porn addicts into progress magnets at the Off Porn Academy. I call it the 3 pillars of progress: courage, education, and environment. Pillar number 1, courage. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. When you join us, you're not just joining a program. You are declaring to yourself and to the world that you are actually beginning to create change. Fear is the greatest enemy of execution, and that's why 95% of people watching this, despite all the stuff I've shared, will choose to settle for cheap pleasure and come back to their average lives. But that's not you. At least I hope so. So in the act of joining us, you're already proving that there's something different about you, that you're part of the few who do versus the many who talk. All right, pillar number 2, education. I believe that education isn't really about learning. It's more about experimenting. Actually, my favorite definition of learning is one by Alex Hermosi. Learning equals same condition, new behavior. By definition, learning involves action. Find people who've already achieved what you want, learn from them, try it out for yourself, and improve along the way. This, to me, is the real process of education. There's a reason we're called the Off Porn Academy. Education is at the heart of our community. By joining us, you gain access to a complete step-by-step roadmap to freedom. 10 years of no-fap advice summarized for you into a few hours. You get a powerful anti-relapse system with 7 habits that will make relapsing so difficult you couldn't even do it if you wanted to. You get meditations, exclusive content, and much more. All of that stuff comes with transformative action programs that are filled with proven and actionable strategies, all of them backed up by research and experience. So I basically made all the mistakes so you don't have to. You also get daily wisdom gems. I spend my days doing research and having conversations with all sorts of experts. This community is the first place where I share all the latest breakthroughs I discover in the fields of porn addiction recovery and human potential. I do that so that you can get all the simplified and actionable information without the time and effort it took to get it. But that's not all. You also break free from the isolation that often comes with self-improvement. That's where the 3rd pillar comes in. Environment. This is the most underrated part of the game. Most rehab programs fail because people might change in their new environments, but as soon as they're back to their old environments, it's over. You must permanently immerse yourself in a new environment. It's like we are social creatures. We can only reach our fullest potential when we're surrounded by these 3 categories of people: mentors, peers, and mentees that are all on the same journey as us. Even I created this community partially because I knew I needed it and I couldn't find anything out there that was up to my standards. And listen, you can join ours or someone else's, but what I want you to remember is that you must make it part of your meaning and to contribute to a community. It's so important. By the way, I'm not just talking out of my ass here. The American Society of Training and Development found that people who participate to regular meetings with accountability partners are 95% more likely to get results than those who play the game alone. This is why our goal at the Off Porn Academy is to create a high energy environment that creates progress for everyone. As soon as you join, you'll immediately gain access to a network of like-minded individuals through daily group calls, group chats, and Q&A sessions, all incentivized to support each other through the integrated school rewards system. School's algorithm is designed in a way where people who contribute and participate the most are placed on a leaderboard, and I've made sure to make the most out of it by offering gifts and prizes to those who provide the biggest amount of value in the community. There's a quote by Charlie Munger that I absolutely love. Show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. The moment you join, every single member in this community has a compelling reason, a personal reason to help you as much as possible. This is what I love most about the brotherhood I've created. I genuinely believe that as a man, healing and mastering your relationship with sexuality is one of the highest leverage goals you can possibly focus on for these 3 reasons. Number 1, in order to actually heal and master this area in your life, you will have to develop all of the skills and values necessary for a high-quality life. We're talking self-awareness, discipline, wisdom, courage, forgiveness, consistency, faith, self-education, presence, surrender, manifestation, humility, radical acceptance, patience, and more. Number 2, as you develop and grow these skills along the journey, you will indirectly be rewarded in every area of your life. You will inevitably become healthier, wealthier, happier, and your relationships will flourish. You're going to learn that if something can work in the field of sexual mastery, it can work in any other field. Porn addiction recovery is the greatest doorway into self-actualization. And number 3, probably my favorite one, the comeback story effect. What is one common pattern you've noticed in every classical story, myth, and legend across any moment in history? It's the hero's journey towards salvation or personal growth or freedom. Would you watch a movie or read a book where the characters are happy from the beginning to the end without having to face any obstacles? Of course not. That shit will be boring as fuck. Tell me, what is often the most grabbing, inspiring, and powerful part of a story? It's the comeback, the part where the hero finally wins after losing, where they finally find a solution and break free from their problem after all of these obstacles. There's a reason why you see this story in every successful movie. It's just a projection of the human psyche. We can't appreciate victory if we've never been defeated. We can't appreciate freedom if we've never been stuck. This is exactly what makes the journey of addiction recovery a blessing in disguise. It may seem like your greatest curse at first, but you'll eventually realize that it was actually your greatest blessing all this time, just waiting to be unleashed. All right, so let's face it. Right now, you're standing at a crossroad. You have a choice to make, and it's one that could literally define the rest of your life. You can continue down the path of wasted potential, settling for the comfort of being average and indulging in cheap pleasures that drain your energy. Or you can choose the path of progress, where every moment becomes an investment in the man you know you're capable of becoming. This isn't just about saving money, it's about saving your future. But before we talk about that, if you're like me and you love to double check if your return on investment is worth it, I recently discovered a study that absolutely blew my mind. Like, I knew investing in yourself was worth it, but I didn't know it was that impressive. According to studies by Metrics Global and the Manchester Review, coaching programs tend to create a return on investment of 500% to 700% on average. This is absolutely wild, but it's not the most important part. What's even more important is the ROT, the return on time. Time is the one thing you can never take back, and every second you spend settling for less than what you can do and be and contribute is one you can never recover. We are at the beginning of a massive sexual revolution. In 2024 alone, OnlyFans reached 210 million registered users, growing rapidly with around 500,000 new users signing up every day. Aitana became the first AI sex model to gain hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. Several AI modeling agencies are already making tens of thousands of dollars per month, while I'm seeing more and more online gurus teaching people how to create their own AI models. Companies like RealDoll are currently working on creating the first affordable sex robot that is run by AI. And there's probably more stuff out there that I'm not even aware of. If you think quitting porn is hard now, imagine how hard it will get in the next months. The internet is widening the gap between those who want to learn and those who want to be entertained. It's like, from a perspective of tools, resources, information, and technology, it's the easiest time in history to succeed. Think about it. We can make money from a laptop anywhere we want to as long as there's Wi-Fi. The abundance of opportunities available to us is insane. What took your grandpa days of research at the library can now take you seconds with tools like ChatGPT. But just as anything else, there's always a price to pay. From a psychological perspective, it's actually the most difficult time in history to succeed. Absolutely insane amounts of cheap dopamine are available to you 24/7 for free at the click of a button. Comfort levels, especially in the Western world, are higher than ever, and the overload of information can often create a paradox of choice. The wealth gap is widening faster and faster, and it's dividing the world between those who take action, literally, and those who don't. Now is the moment for us to decide which side we're going to be on, because the longer we wait, the more difficult it will get. Remember, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. 95% of people would have stopped this video by now and gone back to their miserable lives of settling for cheap pleasure. But you stayed until the end, and I believe there's a reason for that. The choice is yours. If you decide to join us on this journey, I would be honored to welcome you inside of our brotherhood. We'll be waiting for you on the other side. Much love, and hope to see you soon.